Alrighty, so today I want to talk about my experience using the Evo Lite Plus for the past 2 weeks. I had a chance to travel to Las Vegas with it and to use it professionally for the past couple of weeks, and I want to share my experience with all of you. Let's get started. What's going on, everybody? Ken here. You're watching OriginaldoBo, and today we're going to be talking about my overall experience using the Evo Lite Plus for the past 2 weeks. Now, I've been pretty hard on Autel over the past couple of months, and rightfully so. They've had a lot of issues with the Evo 2 Pro and the Evo 2, and because of that, I really don't use that drone. It sits more often than not. But with the Evo Lite, I don't find that to be the case. Let me explain. See, with the Evo Lite, Autel went back to the drawing board and thought about what they wanted this drone to really be. Did they want this to be a baby Evo 2 Pro, or did they want it to be something else? And I think they chose the latter of that, and it's in something entirely different altogether. So for starters, the build quality of the Evo Lite is far superior than that of the Evo 2 Pro, if I'm just being completely honest. The drone size-wise falls in between the Mavic 3 and the Air 2S as far as size, and I'm okay with that. I like the size of the Evo Lite because it's not a big drone, but it's not a small drone either. Now, because it's not a small drone, it also means that it doesn't get blown around quite as much by the wind, which means I have a much more stable experience when piloting it. They've also made some changes to the batteries, which I think was something that they needed to do. And overall, over the past couple of weeks of using this, I'm damn near getting almost 40 minutes of flight time, which is, I think, pretty damn incredible. And having 3 batteries, I've never found myself once needing more battery than just the 3 that I brought with me, even in Las Vegas. Now, the build quality on this is better. However, if you do plan on purchasing one of these Evos, I would highly recommend that you stay away from the white or gray versions. When this was first announced, I thought I absolutely wanted the gray version, but after using it for a couple of weeks, the gray gets dirty very quick. It also gets scratched very, very easily. That's a spider web. Now, unfortunately, when choosing a color, you don't know how that color is going to necessarily hold up until you start using it. So I'm actually really happy that I've had a chance to travel with it. Because the top shell of the Evo Lite isn't the same as the Evo 2 Pro, the Evo 2 Pro sort of has this orange peel effect to it, and it repels dirt and grime and scratches actually really quite well. But unfortunately, the Lite series has more of a matte, smooth finish, and because of that, it's gonna pick up scratches and it's gonna pick up dirt a lot easier. So longevity-wise, I would still probably lean to the orange and not the gray or the white colors. It'd be cool if they made a black color. I'm still not sure why they won't do that. So another reason why I ended up switching to the Lite Plus was the image quality. I've been pretty critical about Autel's image quality over the past couple of weeks, but what I will tell you is that they did make some improvements to the overall images on the Lite Plus. The camera no longer looks like an over-sharpened mess, and the field of view seems to be a little bit wider on the Lite Plus. On the Evo 2 Pro 6K version, I always found that it was just too narrow for real estate videography and photography. Unless I was using the full 6K sensor, that was the only way I can get a wider field of view. So this is definitely a big step in the right direction. Along with the improved color science, I have a lot less complaints with the overall image. And it is actually really refreshing to not have to do an abundant amount of color grading when I'm traveling. It means I can make videos faster and a lot more enjoyable. Another big win for the Evo Lite Plus and the Lite is the fact that that new RC is so compact. It really is super small and it feels a lot better using. It doesn't feel so uncomfortable, and I wasn't sure how I was gonna feel about like that Xbox style controller, but I'll tell you, after using it for the past couple of weeks, even me being a pincher, I don't find it uncomfortable at all. Now, even though I like the controller, one stupid fact about the controller is the fact that there is nowhere to put the sticks. Now, people have talked about these two little holes in front of these bolts on the back side of the RC, that is where the sticks are supposed to go. While the stick fits in there, that is not where the sticks are meant to go. It just so happens that yes, you can screw into it. But because you're screwing into plastic, eventually that's gonna wallow out and you're gonna end up losing your sticks in probably one of the worst possible times that you can imagine. This happened to me when I was in Las Vegas. I took the sticks off, put them in my bag, and I couldn't find where I freaking put them, and I was actually panicking. So I stole a set of sticks from the demo units on the CES floor. I apologize, Autel, and I'm not even fucking joking. Okay, so let's talk about one of the biggest reasons why I ended up going to the Evo Lite Plus as my daily driver, and it's GPS. The Mavic 3, although it's an amazing craft, the GPS locking situation is an absolute shit show. It takes forever for GPS to lock. With the Evo Lite, I power it on, and before the gimbal even calibrates, I have enough GPS signal to be able to take off. And I've not had any issues with the Lite Plus, with flyaway or, you know, any sort of goofy things that I've had with the Nano version. I haven't had any problems with the Lite version. So there definitely is something to be said about larger drones versus smaller drones and overall issues in quality control. So it's not all been sunshine and rainbows thus far. There have been some minor bugs, but these are not deal breakers, and these are things that I can totally live with. One of the biggest issues that I've had so far with the Evo Lite Plus is the fact that if I put an SD card in there and I don't format it beforehand, I don't have any way to format it, because currently there is a format issue where I format an SD card and it doesn't actually delete the files off the SD card. This is something I've reported to Autel, but they have not been yet able to duplicate the issue. So if you are somebody having that problem, make sure you let them know, because that's something that I think they need to do a deeper dive, but it's not something that I feel is like a huge deal breaker. Okay, let's talk about the application, because the Sky app is very, very juvenile, and because it's so juvenile, there's a lot of missing features that I think Autel needs to add sooner rather than later. For starters, we definitely need some sort of creative profiles underneath the camera options. We need like a flat or log profile. I've talked about this before. When I was in Las Vegas, I was impressed with the dynamic range that the camera was able to produce, but I would have much rather been able to fully control my image and really be able to give it a creative spin by having or utilizing a log or flat profile. When shooting photos, or more importantly, when shooting auto bracketed exposures, I don't have any way to manually control the camera. It's all done automatically and I just have to tap to expose. It would be nice underneath that option to be able to set the aperture and control the shutter and how fast, and more importantly, I just need aperture control when doing auto bracketed exposure. We need more manual controls under the camera app for photos. And then the last thing that's missing so far is tracking. We don't have any sort of active tracking as of right now, or at least I haven't been able to find any sort of active tracking. Now, when talking to Autel directly, they did tell me that they are rolling out updates in phases. So far we are on phase 1 of updates, but phase 2 will be coming in the near future, which hopefully will bring a plethora of fixes that I've talked about in this video to the Evo Lite Plus. I also think it's important to remember that everything I'm talking about in this video could apply to the Evo Lite and the Plus version of the Evo Lite. I don't think it's really ultimately user specific, because there's going to be minor differences between those two cameras. All right, that's gonna do it for the Evo Lite Plus video. Like I said, it's really hard to complain much about this drone. I think it's only going to get better with each firmware update, so I'm going to try to do the best I can to stick with this drone while Autel makes some improvements to it, because like I said, it's pretty good right now. I think it could be a little bit better. So if you're interested in more Evo Lite Plus videos just like this, be sure to comment down below letting me know if you picked up either this or the Nano. I've decided to postpone my Nano video until I can get a unit that is functioning properly. I want to give it a fair shake. I'm really attempting to give companies a fair crack at things in 2022. So I'm gonna let Autel send me another unit, see if that one does better than the one I have right now. And yeah, so I'm a little out of breath. It's actually, I don't want to say it's cold out because people up north would probably come down here and kick my ass, but it's cold for Florida. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Stay original.
I heard they checking for me, no one checking on me, so I had to go run up a check. I got the message on me, ain't no flexing on me, my attorney gon' call and collect. Blessings on blessings for me, my successes only made them envious, they got upset. I had to put all their egos in check. I want the money.